Welcome to the Daily JG Live. It's January 7th. Breaking news coming out of ESPN is that Jim Harbaugh will leave Stanford and head to San Francisco to take over the 49ers head coaching position. The deal looks like it's worth $25 million over 5 years, or so is reported. Now, 3 or 4 days ago, if you would have told me that Harbaugh was to go to San Francisco, I would have had no problems with it. That's where I thought he was going to go, over Michigan, over Miami, over Denver. But when Luck announced yesterday that he was coming back to Stanford, I was about 90% certain that Harbaugh was going to, do the same. So it's kind of surprising that Luck decided that he's going to stay at Stanford and Harbaugh's going to leave. You almost want to second guess Luck's decision right now. We're going to talk about both Luck staying and Harbaugh leaving here. We're going to break it down in 2 parts. Let's start with Luck staying. Yesterday, Andrew Luck decided that he was going to come back to Stanford for his redshirt junior season. And now that Harbaugh has announced he's going pro, I'm even more thrown off by this decision. Why would you come back to school when you know you were going to be the first pick in the draft, guaranteed first pick in the draft? Why would you come back when you know your coach is leaving? Surely these two talked, and Luck probably knew from the get-go that Harbaugh was going to depart for the NFL, and he still decides to come back. And I know you can make arguments that he didn't want to go to Carolina, or that he wanted to finish his college, get his college degree, and that he wants to win a Heisman or a national championship. Well, a national championship's not in the picture without Harbaugh. But a Heisman, finish your degree, doesn't want to go to Carolina, are all reasons for him to return to Stanford. But you could have went pro. You could have been the #1 pick. Leave with your coach. What you did at Stanford was awesome. You went 12-1. You're not going to get any better than that. So why come back and risk injury? Why come back and hurt your draft status? The only place he can go is down. He really can't get any higher. I mean, he was going to be the #1 pick. So it's even more surprising. And if I'm Luck, I'm second-guessing my decision and maybe switching my decision now that Harbaugh is for sure going to the NFL. Luck deciding to stay. I mean, Jimmy Clausen's got to be, the happiest man in the world right now. He was looking like he was going to lose his job. I don't think Carolina will go quarterback anymore with the first pick. I'd like to see them take, Nick Fairley, a defensive tackle out of Auburn, or Daquan Bowers. You hear people say A.J. Green, but I'm not 100% sold on A.J. Green. I think a wide receiver is someone you take late first round, if you're going to take a wide receiver first round, not someone you draft with the first pick. So Fairley and Daquan Bowers are definitely 2 guys that I won't be surprised if Carolina drafts. As far as quarterbacks go now, you got to look at Blaine Gabbert. Will be the top-rated quarterback and might be the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft. I feel like my entire life is a lie. Gabbert comes out of nowhere. Luck shocks the world by saying he's going to come back to Stanford. And now Gabbert's the #1 quarterback heading into the draft. More than likely will be the #1 quarterback heading into the draft. And that is just crazy. This was a guy that was hardly talked about at the beginning of the year, and now will likely be a top 5, top 7, pick in the NFL draft. It's just crazy how things can change so quickly just because of Luck's decision. It's like I said, I don't see Carolina taking a quarterback now. The only reason I thought they were taking Luck is because obviously Luck might be the best quarterback prospect since guys like Manning and Elway coming out. That's just a guy you can't pass up. But I think a guy like Gabbert, I think a guy like Ryan Mallett, I think a guy like Locker, a guy like Newton, I think you can pass those guys up now because I don't think it's that big of an upgrade from Jimmy Clausen. And now you can build your defense. Maybe you can hope that a guy like Locker or Mallett falls to the 2nd round and snap a quarterback that way. Now the Harbaugh side of things, I'm not, like I said, 3 or 4 days ago, if you would have told me that Harbaugh was going to San Francisco, I wouldn't be surprised. I knew from the beginning that if he was going to the NFL, it probably was going to be San Fran. I thought there was an outside shot at Denver just because of the connection he has. The Stanford connection with John Elway. But when Luck decided he was going to stay, I thought for sure Harbaugh was going to do the same. You know, maybe try to win a national title, maybe try to get Luck a Heisman. And Harbaugh could, you know, build on all that. Say, look, this is what I did with Luck. Get even more money in the NFL next year or get even more money in a college job. But instead, Harbaugh leaves, and now he leaves Luck, you know, with maybe one of his assistants. You got to think Harbaugh's going to take all his assistants with him to the NFL. So who's going to be the coach at Stanford now? This is all kind of screwed up. Like I said, if I'm Luck, I'm starting to, you know, second guess myself. Maybe he should decide to declare for the NFL draft. And he still can. He still can change his mind. Luck doesn't seem like he's the type of kid that would do something like that, but you never know. I think Harbaugh is going to do great in San Fran. And the reason being, this team plays in a weak division, and they're a quarterback away, essentially, from winning that division, from being a 10-6, 11-5 playoff team. I think what you'll see happen is them draft a quarterback. I believe they have the 7th pick. I wouldn't be surprised if they took a guy, you know, like Gabbert, if he falls there. Maybe Ryan Mallett, but now scouts are starting to say that Mallett, you know, is too awkward, too big. So who knows? I think San Fran will ultimately draft a quarterback, and he has a chance to step. Whoever they get has a chance to step right in, you know, because Alex Smith, he's had what, 13 chances to prove himself. You know, I don't think Troy Smith's the answer. So they could have a guy like Mallett, a guy like Gabbert step in right away, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to lead them to an 11-5, 10-6 record because that division's weak, and because San Fran has a lot of young players. You know, Patrick Willis is one of the best defensive players in the league. Vernon Davis, Frank Gore, they have weapons on both sides of the ball. They really are just a good head coach and a good quarterback away from being a playoff team. I think they're still 3 or 4 years out of being a Super Bowl contender, but I think Harbaugh will turn around things in San Fran and get them going in the right direction.